Rejection is not real. It never was. What you've been calling rejection is simply a signal, a reflection of how you were perceived in a moment, not a verdict on your worth. But no one ever told you that. Instead, you were taught to believe that attraction is something you earn through effort, through saying the right words, through trying harder than the next guy. And because of that belief, you've been walking into interactions already defeated, already seeking approval, already preparing for a loss that hasn't even happened yet. Think about it. How many times have you replayed a moment in your head, wondering what you should have said differently? How many times have you assumed you weren't good enough just because someone didn't respond the way you expected? That's not rejection, that's misinterpretation. And the more you chase answers within that broken framework, the deeper you trap yourself in it. The truth is, attraction doesn't begin with effort. It begins with perception. It's not about what you do, it's about how you are experienced. And that changes everything. Because if attraction is perception, then it can be shaped without force, without chasing, without ever putting yourself in a position to be rejected in the first place. By the end of this video, you're going to see this clearly. You'll understand why rejection was never real and how to make attraction happen without asking for it. What you've been calling rejection feels personal, but it isn't. It feels like a judgment of who you are, but in reality, it's a reaction to how you were perceived in a very specific moment. That distinction matters more than you think, because once you see it clearly, the weight you've been carrying starts to lift. You stop internalizing outcomes that were never about your identity in the first place. Most men don't realize they trigger this reaction before they even say a word. It shows up in subtle ways: energy that feels slightly too eager, attention that feels slightly too available, behavior that feels predictable. There's no mystery, no tension, no space for curiosity to grow. And when there's nothing to discover, there's nothing to feel. So the response you interpret as rejection is simply the absence of emotional impact. Think about the times it happened to you. The conversation that felt flat, the interaction that ended quickly, the silence that followed. It wasn't because you weren't enough. It was because nothing in that moment created a reason to lean in. No tension, no intrigue, no pull. Attraction doesn't come from saying the right thing at the right time. It doesn't live in words. It's triggered beneath the surface in the emotional experience you create without trying to force it. That's why some men can say very little and still be remembered, while others say everything and are forgotten. So if you've been blaming yourself, understand this: it wasn't you. It was your positioning. And once you change that, everything begins to shift in ways you didn't think were possible. The first principle you need to understand is emotional tension, because this is where attraction actually begins. Not in words, not in logic, not in effort, but in the space between certainty and uncertainty. People are not drawn to what is fully known. They are drawn to what they are still trying to figure out. That's why predictability kills interest so quickly. When everything about you feels obvious, there is nothing left to explore, nothing left to feel. This is where most men go wrong. They try to be consistently nice, consistently available, consistently agreeable. On the surface, that seems like the right approach. It feels safe. It feels respectful. But psychologically, it creates a flat emotional experience. There are no spikes, no contrast, no moments that stand out. And without contrast, the mind doesn't hold on to the interaction. It fades almost instantly. Now think about the opposite. The people you remember are rarely the most predictable ones. They are the ones who made you feel something different, something unexpected. Maybe they paused before responding. Maybe they didn't react the way you assumed they would. Maybe there was a slight unpredictability in how they carried themselves. That subtle uncertainty creates tension, and that tension creates focus. Attraction works the same way. You can think of it like a voltage system. When there is no difference in charge, no contrast, nothing happens. But the moment there is a gap, a pull is created. Energy begins to move, emotional attention locks in. Without that gap, without that tension, there is no spark. So how do you create it without forcing anything? It starts with restraint, not rushing to fill every silence, not reacting instantly to everything that's said, allowing moments to breathe, giving just enough, then stepping back slightly. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding that constant availability removes the very tension that creates attraction in the first place. When you begin to hold that space, something changes. Conversations feel different. People lean in more. They start investing energy, trying to read you, trying to understand you. And that's when attraction quietly begins, without you ever needing to chase it or ask for it. The second principle is psychological positioning, and this is where most outcomes are decided before anything meaningful even begins. Attraction is heavily influenced by how someone perceives your value in the first few moments, and that perception is shaped less by what you say and more by how you carry yourself. It's subtle, almost invisible, but it defines everything that follows. Most men unknowingly place themselves in a lower position without realizing it. It shows up in the need to be liked, in the urge to impress, in the habit of giving more attention than has been earned. When you overinvest too early, when you try to prove your worth, you communicate something without saying it directly. You signal that you are seeking approval rather than offering an experience. And the moment that dynamic is established, attraction begins to weaken. There is a simple truth underneath all of this that most people overlook. The one who needs less controls more. Not through force, not through manipulation, but through presence. When you are not dependent on a specific outcome, your energy shifts. You become harder to read, harder to predict, and that naturally elevates your perceived value. This doesn't require arrogance or distance. It requires calm control, slowing down your responses instead of rushing to reply, holding steady eye contact without overcompensating, speaking without trying to fill every gap with validation-seeking words. These small adjustments communicate something powerful. You are not trying to win anyone over, and that is what changes the dynamic. Instead of chasing attention, you become someone who allows attention to come to you. Instead of trying to be chosen, you quietly position yourself as the one who chooses. That shift is not loud, but it is deeply felt, and once it's established, attraction begins to move in your direction without resistance. The third principle is narrative creation, and this is where attraction quietly deepens into something more powerful. What someone feels about you is rarely based on what you directly tell them. It's shaped by the story they begin to build in their own mind. Every pause, every unanswered question, every detail you choose not to reveal becomes material for that story. And the more space you leave, the more their imagination starts to work in your favor. Most men do the opposite. They explain too much, reveal too quickly, and try to make everything clear. It feels honest, even logical, but it removes the very element that keeps interest alive. When everything is known, there is nothing left to think about. No curiosity, no anticipation, no reason to revisit the interaction later. Clarity feels safe, but mystery is what creates emotional movement. Think about the people who have stayed in your mind longer than expected. It's rarely because they told you everything about themselves. It's because there was something you couldn't fully figure out, something slightly incomplete that kept pulling your attention back. That's the mechanism at play here. The mind naturally tries to close gaps, and when it can't, it keeps returning to the source. If she fully understands you, she stops thinking about you. But if there are small pieces missing, her mind begins to fill them in. She starts asking questions internally, creating interpretations, building meaning where none was directly given, and that process creates attachment without you forcing it. You can allow this to happen by not overextending every conversation. Leave moments slightly unfinished. Say enough to be understood, but not enough to be predictable. Let silence exist without rushing to explain it. When you step back at the right time, you give her mind something to hold on to. That's where obsession begins. Not from what you say, but from what you leave unsaid. All of this only works if it rests on one foundation: emotional self-control. Without it, every principle collapses the moment pressure appears. You can understand tension, positioning, and mystery intellectually, but if your emotions take over in real time, you will default back to chasing, over-explaining, and seeking validation. That's why this isn't just strategy, it's discipline. Most men lose control in subtle ways. A delayed reply creates anxiety. A change in tone triggers overthinking. Silence feels like a threat that must be filled immediately, and in those moments, they react. They send another message, they try to fix the energy, they reveal more than necessary. But every reactive move signals the same thing: need. And neediness quietly destroys tension, lowers your position, and removes any sense of mystery you had built. The Stoic approach is different. It begins with a simple understanding that you cannot control how someone responds, but you can control how you show up. When you stop trying to force outcomes, your behavior becomes steady. You observe instead of reacting. You allow things to unfold without interference, and that calm presence changes how you are experienced. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means you are not dependent on a specific result to feel secure. You don't rush to chase a feeling. You don't seek reassurance from external reactions. Your sense of value comes from within, not from how someone responds to you in a moment. And that is where everything shifts. When you are no longer trying to make something happen, you stop disrupting the natural flow of attraction. You give space for tension to exist, for perception to form, for curiosity to grow. In a quiet way, you become more compelling without doing more. Attraction begins when you stop needing it, and when you reach that point, your presence alone starts to carry weight in every interaction. Most men will hear this and do nothing with it. They'll nod along, recognize the truth in it, and then go right back to the same patterns. They'll still chase attention. They'll still talk too much, trying to impress. They'll still give more than is earned, hoping it will finally be enough. And when it doesn't work, they'll fall back into the same confusion, wondering why nothing changes. But you're not here for that. Something in you already knows that approach doesn't lead anywhere worth going. You've seen what happens when you overextend, when you react too quickly, when you place someone else's response above your own center. And now you've seen the alternative. Not louder, not more aggressive, not manipulative, just controlled, grounded, and precise. This is where the shift happens, not in what you do, but in who you become. Calm when others rush, controlled when others react, unpredictable in a way that creates curiosity instead of confusion, selective with your attention instead of giving it away freely. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it. It shows in how you move, how you speak, how you choose when to engage and when to step back. Let it settle for a moment. Let it become something internal, not just something you heard. Say it quietly, but mean it. I don't chase attention. I create it. That is the standard now. Not something you try occasionally, but something you live consistently. And if this resonates, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a simple comment as a commitment to that identity. Not for anyone else, but as a line you draw for yourself. Because the truth is, you were never rejected. You were just invisible. Now, you won't be.